Ever wondered just how rude street or area names can get? Well, today I'm taking you on a journey to the rudest and most shocking locations in the UK. Get ready for some terrible jokes and outrageous place names. This is actually a pretty graphic name. I mean, what comes to your mind when you think about Wetwang? Okay, maybe best not to sit on that one for too long. Wetwang actually comes from Old Norse, which means meeting place or place of justice. I guess both are pretty funny in this context. Over here on Nut Street, I'm feeling so excited that I could explode. I've actually heard that Nut Street is the most satisfying place in Bolton. Everyone who leaves here seems to leave pretty happy. So just around the corner from Nut Street, we've got Wapping Street. And if I had to take a guess, Cardi B probably named this one. It smells really fishy out here, I don't know why. That's why. Here we have Fanny Lane. Now, Fanny Lane, funnily enough, it's named this after a person who was called Fanny a long time ago. Could you imagine if that was your name now? So here on Horny Street in Bury, this is probably the roughest area that I've been to so far on this journey. On the way here, I saw two crackheads and then also a fight breaking out. So I'll try and make this one quick. Horny Street, obviously meant to be known as Horn Street, does seem like the type of place where back alley quickies could happen. That is, if you have no standards. So we have now made it to Titty Ho. That's something that I think we can all agree that we like. We all like titties, and occasionally we like hoes. Now this place is actually in the middle of nowhere, so maybe that is why they've got away with calling it what they've called it. I've heard that for some of these places that we're going to be going to, people have petitioned to have the name of their street changed because they've been bullied in school for where they live. And apparently some of them even claim that their house prices are going down because of the name of the street. So Butt Lane is one of the more tamer ones on their list, but it's still pretty funny nonetheless. This one actually derives from an Old English word, which, funnily enough, means narrow passage. Could you do that again, actually? That was quite funny.
That was quite funny. Hold on, is this going on ITV?
No, I'm not quite that famous.
Oh, yet.
Exactly, she knows. You're going to be subscribed, aren't you?
Yeah, why not?
Tell them to subscribe to me.
Hi, we're in Haworth. I'm on the top of Butt Lane. Can you please subscribe to Ryan? And if you like it, click like. Like.
What do you think about Butt Lane here?
Butt Lane, it's steep and I've nearly lost a lung, Ryan, to be fair, so it took me quite a long time to get up here.
What would you think if you lived on Butt Lane and you had to tell someone, hey, you know, I live on number 33 Butt Lane?
Quite funny. I would be quite proud of living on Butt Lane.
Have you heard of any other rude sort of names?
Yes, Cockermouth, that's quite a good one, isn't it, in the Lake District?
So Minge Lane here in Worcestershire is one of the more notable places on this list. The sign has actually been stolen multiple times, so they've actually had to try and put it in a bit better. I guess the council are getting pretty fed up of people trying to touch their minge. Now, penis stone is actually one that appears a lot across the country in a few different places, but the main area being in Yorkshire. Now, this is actually supposed to be pronounced Pennystone, but let's be real, none of us at all will be calling it that. This is Slag Lane, and it's actually quite long, much like a list of people that a slag has slept with. Ironically, over there is a street called Church Lane as well. Now, there actually is some history behind the name of this, and it comes from the Byram family. The name comes from the area's industrial past, with the word slag meaning waste from metal smelting or coal mining. The Byram family were wealthy landowners in the 17th and 18th century. They owned large estates and were involved in local industries, including coal mining, which likely produced the slag that gave the road its name. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got some slags to find. So here we are on the other side of Worcestershire, and we've got Twatling Road. Now, the funny thing about all of these rude and weird named places is they seem to all be right next to churches. Maybe they're just trying to bring the Holy Spirit back in. Just around the corner from Twatling Road, we've got Lickey Square, and I was going to make a joke about this one, but I'm going to leave it to your own imagination. All I'm going to say is it involves a box. So we've now made it to Bitchfield, again in the middle of nowhere, and just surrounded by fields. So maybe there's a bitch in the field, and that is why it's called Bitchfield. So let me have a look. Honestly, I can think of quite a few people that should be living here. So we've made it to the sunny Birmingham, and here we are at Bell End. And this is one that consistently makes news headlines, mainly because people are petitioning to have the name changed. They believe that it's outdated, and also that their kids are being bullied in school because of it. People have been petitioning to have the name changed here. What do you think about that?
I don't mind it. It depends on the person's mind, I think.
Do you think it should be changed?
Not really. I think there's history here.
And do you think it's a good name?
As I said, it depends on the person's mind.
You mentioned there was history. What's the history behind it?
No idea. I just know that it's been called it for a long time. That's all I know.
Here we are on Willie Lane, and I believe this one is named after my little friend here. It comes from the Old English word will or willow, so basically it's probably meant to mean Willow Lane actually. Obviously Old English translation makes it Willie Lane. We've made it to 10 Butts Crescent, and 10 Butts is something that I wouldn't mind having myself, so maybe they named it this to manifest 10 butts for themselves. Did they want 10 butts, like to have 10 of their own butts, or did they want 10 people's butts? That's what I want to know. So here we are at the one and only Cock Lane. What a great place. This is the other sign for leading to Cock Lane, but what's interesting is they decided to put a school on the same place as Cock Lane. It's quite unfortunate if you ask me. I don't know who named it. Now for some that didn't make the list but are honourable mentions. I found this on the way home, Melton, and we all know a melt, someone who probably should live in Melton, so there we go, boom, let's go. So we've made it here to Stony Road, and everyone here seems to be in pretty high spirits, you know? High on life, I guess you could say. Here we have Woodhave Street. So what would they have done? What would you have done? So this is just a quick fire one. We're at Karen Close, and yes, they do want to see the manager.